Interrupt this program for an urgent announcement. The power's gone and the lights are out. We now have an emergency situation. Time to light your emergency candles. Don't have any? Then it's time to order your supply of emergency grab-and-go candles from LisaKCandles.com. The emergency candles outperform even the most extreme conditions. They are soot and toxin-free and have a natural extended shelf life. The time is now, so don't delay. Have emergency candles from Lisa K. Candles ready when you need them, so you remain in the light and out of the dark. Go to LisaKCandles.com. That's Lisa, the letter K, Candles.com. Or call 731-441-3293. That's 731-441-3293. We now return you to your regular scheduled program already in progress.
Hurry up, Johnson. You're bringing it through here.
Gosh, sir. We've been climbing the face of this pyramid for over 5 minutes. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I can see you are. But I'm fine. Why is that, Johnson?
I don't know, sir.
Nutrition boy, I told you. I bought my food for this journey from a freeze-dry guy, and I got delicious, nutritious stuff, and I feel great. But you...
Sir, I've already heard that lecture.
Yeah, probably a waste of time. Come on, Johnson. Through that hatch right there.
Yes, sir.
Down these steps.
Come on, sir.
Through the door at the bottom, and here it is, Johnson. Behold.
Wow! The sarcophagus full of freeze-dried food.
And notice the variety.
Sir, that means even the ancient Egyptians knew about the freeze-dry guy.
No, it means I planted it here in 97 and it's still good.
Wow.
Let's eat, boy.
Yeah.
What do we have? Beef stroganoff?
Oh, yeah.
Chicken and noodles? Got some sweet and sour pork here.
Right, I'll take that.
This adventure is brought to you by the Freeze Dry Guy. Call 866-404-3663 or visit freezedryguy.com.
America, politicians are about to vote on the creation of a police state and a permanent state of war everywhere on Earth, including the homeland, mein Führer. The U.S. Senate will be voting on a bill that will give this president and every future president the power to order the military to pick up and imprison, without charge or trial, civilians anywhere in the world, including America.
Illuminati, you never take control. Your new world order will lead to none at all.
Let's just go over that again because it may seem insane or unhinged at first. The American president wants the power to arrest and detain anyone, anywhere, indefinitely, without charge or trial, forever. Yes, it still sounds insane.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the story behind the story. Today's Friday, the 22nd day of February 2013. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got to just tell you an incredible fact today. I hesitated to tell the story. Those who know me the best, my wife, my children, know this story to be true. It's hard to talk about it because it's very personal, very private. People ask me all the time, why do you talk of Christ so incessantly, always? Because you see, that's what I was shown I had to do. I was born on September 28th of the year 1959. On my 25th birthday, I remember this so vividly. I had an experience as I was going to sleep one night, that night, where I saw heaven. I saw the Father's house with many mansions. I experienced the song of creation, the very essence of the firmament. The firmament, you see, is how creation is made, how everything that was made is made. And the song of creation is frequencies of sound and energy. That is how it's made. The time I was told to explain and to talk about this publicly would be the time when I would be united with one and then another. You see, there's three individuals. I was shown two others on my 25th birthday, the evening of my 25th birthday. I was shown two other prophets. I didn't even use that word. Warning, people with a warning voice. It's not important to tell their names. It's not important that I even know who they are. It's better, really, if people don't even know who I am. It's not important to be recognized as an individual. What is important is the word, the words, the testimony. I was shown that this gentleman who's 44 years of age now this year, because he was a young lad of 15 when I saw him and met him in my experience, that he would write the words and I would just merely stamp them as valid. And that's what I'm doing today, folks. It's simply called the message. That's all it is. It's the message. Take it or leave it as you wish. You have free agency, folks. You have free agency. You have freedom. You have the right to be wrong. The Creator loves you anyway. I don't know if I'll meet the other two people in this life. I hope so, face to face. Probably will. But again, as Christ showed me, it's not important. The importance is to do the job He said you ought to do and to make the message heard. This is the message today. Today, the 22nd day of the second month, 2/22. It comes to you for whatever it's worth. Hopefully it'll be worth something to you folks. I got to share with you the words of the dream, as it's called. And it's not a dream, folks. It's absolute reality. My friend at age 44 received this complete recollection on the 28th day of December, 3 days after the Christmas holiday, Christmas Day, December 25th, which is all again by time reckoning, ladies and gentlemen, 6 days after the solstice, the cusp of the solstice. This is all by design, by absolute times tables. You see, I've been saying this on this radio show for years. If you can find Christ, to become one with Him, to develop a personal relationship with Him, it doesn't matter what else in your life is there. It doesn't matter what your financial status is. It does not matter ultimately your health. There's no way you can be depressed. There's no way that you can live in fear if you truly know Him. Here is the testimony of my associate. I can't tell you his name. Frankly, it's not important. And it's not supposed to be at this point in time. You'll get to know him. You'll know his name eventually. Here is his testimony to you today, this 22nd day of February, the second month, 2013. He writes, quote, I was raised an atheist, utterly godless, not even agnostic. No gods, period. Fairies, Santas, or bunnies. I believed nothing at all. I saw all the trouble and confusion it caused and wanted nothing to do with it. I see Christians always fighting and debating and being hypocrites all the time. I see New Agers not really having a clue what it is they actually believe in and going in circles. I see all the other religions all banging their head on a wall, but achieving nothing but headaches. I wanted no part of it, and I still don't. But I had a dream/vision when I was 15 that changed my life. But it was not until about a year ago it took effect. And according to the dream, it will not be until after tomorrow, December 28th, 2012, the day that I turn 44, that it finds fulfillment. I was 15, still a kid, but wondering what it was all about, seeing as everything was so totally pointless and without a reason or a goal. Being an atheist is the most pointless life one can live, so empty of purpose or meaning. And like all kids, I needed purpose and meaning, so the dream/vision. 1984. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my birthday, September 28th. 1984, I turned 25 years old. And on that date, I had the exact same experience that you're going to hear me relate in another person's words today. I'm telling you, folks, and I have written the same thing down in my papers. I've only given it to a special few people. They know my story. He writes, it was September the 28th, 1984, a day I will never forget, because it's the day my life was taken right out of my hands. And I realized that none of us really have a choice. Only a will, directed by the one who makes the choices. I remember so clearly, sitting on my bed that night, looking out the window at the stars, wondering why they were there, what purpose they served, if any at all. Again, same exact experience. Staring at the stars that night myself, I remember it vividly. 25 years old, and what do I have to look forward to? Everything, really. I'm married. I have a loving, beautiful wife and a young child. 2, actually. I looked at the stars that night and wondered about the creation that night. I remember asking the same thing of myself. What was my purpose? Did I have a purpose, or was it all pointless? All an illusion, meaningless and dead. That night I lay down on my bed, still wondering what it was all about, and I had a dream or a vision. Not sure which, but it was incredibly vivid. I was there, could feel, hear, smell. Where was I? Keep in mind, up until that point, I had never even looked into a Bible or any other religious book. So what I saw was not previously planted in there. Of course it wasn't, because I saw the exact same thing. I know it to be true. One moment I was on my bed in a half awake, half asleep state, a trance you might call it. That zone you were in where you are still aware but also not aware. I found myself about 200 meters in the air, an air that was not air as we know it. Yeah. I looked around in shock. I was there. This was no dream. I panicked at first because I thought I was dead. And for all I know, I was. After adjusting to this shock, I was able to look around me, where I was and what I saw, spreading out around me in every direction to a horizon that just was not there, was the most incredible landscape I have ever seen. No majestic scene on earth comes close to this. The scope of it, endless and solid and real. Vast jungles, parks, majestic high, mighty mountains, oceans the size of Earth itself, and lakes as big as oceans. Waterfalls 100 kilometers high, mighty rivers packed with life, crystal clear. The trees, small and gray, colorful, detailed, each one unique, and some full of flowers, of colors, vivid and bright. Some fruit, some full of fruit of weird shapes and hue. These colors, folks, are beyond anything you can ever imagine, because they're living, they're vibrant, they're moving. All was alive, he writes, in a life that was life. Not just living things, but living beings. They were not just alive, they were life in its essence. Each leaf, blade of grass, creature and fish, bird and reptile, were not just alive. It's like they were emanating life itself. This mighty and majestic landscape went on and on. What I thought were small hills in the distance turned out to be mighty mountain ranges that make the Himalayas look like a badly thought-up joke in comparison. The waterfall immediately to my left upon arrival there, wow, it was over 300 kilometers from where I floated, and even at that distance it was so utterly magnificent, rising up and up above eye level, like looking up at a river flowing. It descended down the side of a small, compared to some of our other mountains there, of a small 100-kilometer high cliff face, falling, cascading, majestic, and throwing off rainbows in its mighty mist. Yes, I know what he's talking about. I absolutely know. He writes, I could go on and on about the details, but I am going to stick with the main part. And that is who was standing or floating there beside me, who until that moment I had not noticed. I turned to my right and, wow, there was this bloke who I immediately knew was the creator of all I saw. I didn't know his name, I just knew he was responsible for it all. He was about 6 foot, medium build, strong yet supple. He had an air of authority about him, like a mighty fighter who could whip anyone, but with ease, and knew it, but was humble and gentle and didn't need to brag about it. His hair was white, but not from age, more of a symbol of purity kind of white. Like a judge, he would wear a white wig as a symbol. But this hair was no wig, it was his own. He wore a sort of robe, not ancient, yet not modern, like a royal robe of state. Across his chest, from right shoulder to left hip, was a red/purple sash about 6 inches wide, interwoven with gold threads. The robe went to just above his ankles. He had sandals on, but not ancient looking, more of a modern look. But in looking there at his feet, I saw holes in them. Then with a shock I saw his hands. They too had holes in them, just at the ends of his wrists, each hole about half an inch wide. There was no blood, and the wounds were not festy or horrible. They were worn like a status symbol, a mark, more than an annoying wound. I had the urge to kneel, but realized I didn't have a body to kneel with. So I just looked at him, knowing he could read every thought and knew my intent was to kneel if only I could have. He knew. He just smiled at me, joy glittering in his eyes so blue, gold, green, all colors. Fire, eyes of fire, like an opal of magnificent brilliance. He seemed to radiate a real friendliness, happiness, total peace, yet utter and mighty authority. You felt at ease with him, yet so humbled as well. I finally said to him, well, no, I thought it. You are God. See, there in this state, folks, there is no verbal communication. It's thought exchanges. You communicate by thought. You are God. He simply said, I am. That's his name, folks. He is the great I am. I thought to myself, this cannot be real. There is no God. I'm imagining all of this. I must be. At that he smiled even broader, if that were possible, like he was amused at my simple yet certain belief in nothing. It was not a snide enjoyment he was feeling. It was more like you would smile at a toddler who'd said something cute. Then he said, knowing my turmoil and thoughts, "Come, let me show you your destiny." As we started moving through this air that was not air, folks, this is what is called the firmament. This air that is not air. This is the firmament of heaven. They gliding off at about 60 kilometers an hour, it seemed. Yes, indeed, I witnessed that myself. I was able to measure the speed we were moving because we floated over a sort of highway with trees planted at regular intervals along it. It was a twin highway divided in two by a river. The river was about 40 meters across, clear as crystal, pure and so inviting. I had the strongest urge to go and swim in it for some reason, even though I didn't actually have a solid body. Folks, this river that is spoken of here is the Christian River, spoken of and shown to John the Revelator on the island of Patmos. The final chapter of Revelation explains the river that flows from the throne of God. That is so real. John was shown it. I was shown it. This gentleman, without a doubt, I'm telling you, describes it perfectly, was shown it too. The highway was about 15 meters across on each side of the river, and spaced about 200 meters apart were bridges. There were people down there below us, ordinary people, some dressed in modern garb, some in robes like togas, some wearing nothing but light, if that's possible. All were people. They looked to be about 25 years of age or so, healthy, vibrant, solid, and real. These, you see, are the Christians, ladies and gentlemen, these are the saints who have partaken and have now there in the river proceeding from the throne of God. This is very real. I saw children as well playing in the river. Indeed, they are. Laughing and jumping off the bridges into the water, laughter, lots of laughter, and pure joy. It seemed to permeate this amazing place. Here and there among the people, I saw beings. They were like the people, but different. Taller, more powerful, yet gentle. Talking to the people, walking with them. Some carried books and other things. They seemed to be instructing and also being instructed, like they were all learning as well. Parentheses, these, as it turns out, were angels. No, they did not have wings. I saw benches, tables, set along the river under the trees. People and beings alike would sit and talk, smiling, laughing, some in deep thought or conversation, some being lighthearted, some being serious, like they were contemplating some new revelation they had just stumbled upon. In all, it was a very busy, yet very relaxed scene. The trees themselves were amazing, mighty branches spreading out in majestic awnings of life over the river and the benches below. I saw fruit in the trees, gold, green, orange, purple, blue, all sorts of colors. People were picking the fruit here and there and casually eating it, like it was just the done thing. And there were no scraps. There were no pits or skins left over. Folks, this is the fruit of the tree of life. People looked up at us as we passed overhead. They waved and smiled at both of us, yes. I was very visible to them. I was not sure how to wave back because I had no body to wave with. Jesus, or Yeshua, or whatever you want to call him, waved back, smiling, laughing, joyful, and at peace with his creatures. I looked out beyond to what was ahead of us. I saw fields stretching on and on and on. And I saw lights dotted here and there over these fields. And everywhere, people, lots of people, and angels, and millions of children, running, playing, having an awesome time, no tears, no cries, all happy and all having an absolute blast. The kids, I tell you, the kingdom of heaven is theirs. There are so many of them there. These are children, ladies and gentlemen. These are the kids, children that will be born into existence on some plane of existence. Go take a break and come back with this amazing story. I'm telling you, folks. Yeah, it's like he's reading my paper I wrote 20 years ago. Take care. Thanks for listening. We'll be right back after these messages. Please stay tuned.
Range Patrol ration entrees. If you know survival, you know LRPs are the undisputed king of military rations. Hands down the best for your bug-out bag or survival pack. To go farther, faster, and carry more food, there's nothing better than a Brick Pack LRP cold weather ration entree. Nothing. Now, the Freeze Dry Guy is offering a limited time deal on thousands of fresh LRP entrees. We're talking a menu of tasty and nutritious beef stew, chicken and rice, chili mac with beef, spaghetti and meat sauce with 20 entrees per case. These fresh 2011 LRPs are U.S. government contract overruns, perfect for long-term storage. But they're going fast at freezedryguy.com. Far superior to MREs, long-range patrol entrees are about a third the weight of an MRE, with about a third more meat than the finest commercial freeze-dried entrees. Ask about multi-case discounts and free shipping when you call 866-404-3663 today. That's 866-404-3663 or freezedryguy.com. Your source for survival food in an uncertain world.
Hello, I have something I'd like to share with you. LisaKCandles.com is an all-natural soybean candle alternative. Before I found Lisa K Candles, I had lingering soot and allergens in my home. Not today. My Lisa K Candles are clearly a difference to see and breathe. And you know, that's a good peace of mind. LisaKCandles.com is an all-natural soybean candle, handmade from their popular line of fragrances. And guys, these candles make a perfect gift. Order an all-natural soy candle from LisaKCandles.com. I'm glad I did, and I know you will be too. Visit LisaKCandles.com. That's Lisa, the letter K, Candles.com. Or call 731-441-3293. That's 731-441-3293.
Now you can feel that squeaky clean sensation like none other with Vitamer toothpaste and mouthwash. Vitamer toothpaste and mouthwash is a unique natural formula not found in any other oral care products. With a gentle combination of zinc, folic acid, myrrh, and clove oil, Vitamer effectively whitens teeth, removes plaque, and freshens breath, and it does it naturally without any harmful chemicals. Visit us online at Vitamer.com. That's VITAMYR.com. Or call us today to place your order at 1-888-558-8482. That's 1-888-558-8482. Keep your teeth and gums healthy with Vitamer toothpaste and mouthwash. Vitamer, nature's answer to healthy teeth and gums. And remember, it's all completely natural. Available at participating health food stores nationwide.
Hello, brothers and sisters. We have witnessed the deaths of millions in fake wars. We have seen the erosion of rights and suppression of dissent and protest, and we have failed to stop any of it. This does not mean we are beaten. On the contrary, we are strong, and we can take the fight to our enemy because we are offensive, and we cannot be stopped. Join us as we wage war against our oppressors and tyrants by insulting them as often as we want. Yes, no matter what else you can or cannot do, you can always call your rulers odious squats. Go on, give it a shot, you'll feel better, and you'll have added to the growing ranks of the offensive. The owners of the earth, the fascist, selfish, greedy, lying, murdering scum, the super rich and their miserable lives of privilege and dominance, the thieving, murdering, decadent puke states. You cannot stop us being offensive. Do you see? You cannot stop us being offensive. Do you see? We can strike at any time. Our arsenal of words will assault you with ever more insults. Bankers and warmongers, be warned. We are offensive. We do not take it back. We do not think we went too far.
Everywhere in between, indeed. This world, folks, this world is carnal. This world is an illusion. What is real is your soul, your spirit, which is one, if you let him come into your life, can be one with Jesus Christ, Yeshua the Creator, Emmanuel, God with us. That's the message. And the time is very short, folks. There is no doubt about it. Western civilization as we know it, the days are numbered. I don't know the exact date. I just know it will end just as my friend has written here. But I jump ahead of the story. Let me explain to you what he wrote. Seeing all these kids, these spirit children, the kingdom of heaven is theirs. There are so many of them there. But considering there are 30 million abortions each year, it's not really surprising. I looked around, I saw ahead a blank spot in the series of majestic spirals and parklands. There was a field, a circle of pure gold, like a field of burnished glass, like a bright citrine color. It was about 200 kilometers across from edge to edge. It was transparent because I could see the river flowing under it, from right under the structure in the center. the building that was also a throne and looked to be about 2 kilometers high. We began to descend towards it. Gradually getting closer and closer, the field was empty. Not a thing stirred in it. Not a bird flew over it, like it was reserved for something, untouchable until the moment its use was ready. The Creator and I settled down and down, drifting closer and closer to the throne. And this is the weird part. As we drew closer to the throne, we either became bigger or the throne became smaller. Not sure which. The throne was white, pure white, shot through with veins of gold like fire. Solid, eternal, and yet it was also a structure, a dwelling. I never did get an explanation for that except to realize that it was also an, quote, admin building, administration building, like a courthouse, seat of parliament, something like that. We settled down right in front of it. This is the judgment seat, folks. This is the throne of the Ancient of Days. You see. We settled down right in front of it. I reached out to touch it, and then I realized I had no body as such, but I did feel something. Like a purity, awesome power of utter and complete power and authority. Like the place where all decisions are made and all cases ended. This is where it got serious for me. There I stood at the base of the throne, knowing I had been there before. Like a massive, massive deja vu hit me all at once. I recognized this sea of fire, of golden glass. I knew this throne. I knew this entire field. But where? When? My Creator looked at me like he was waiting for the realization to hit me fully. He was not smiling at this moment. He was rather serious, like he wanted me to remember the moment of when I had been there before and was just patiently waiting for the memory to take shape. Having realized I had been there before, I said, Lord Creator. I didn't know how else to address him at that time. I know. I know you now. I've seen you, this place, this throne, this sea of fire / glass. I have been here with you, but when? It does not seem like long ago, and yet, how? He looked at me then with a slight grin. He kind of looked proud of me in a way and said, 15 years ago, Earth time, you sat with me on my lap, up there on that throne. You were an infant, full of life and questions and curiosity. You were fresh from my mind, created almost an instant before, brought into being on earth direct from my very spirit itself. See, this is why Christ is also the Father, ladies and gentlemen. You were born very premature. You did not want to stay at first, so I brought you here to explain a few things and give you a choice. But first I sent you back telling you your time was not yet. You had a destiny to fulfill, and if you had stayed, you would never see it take place. Being an infant, you did not understand. So back you came, rather stubbornly, I might add. He continued, despite my looks of confusion. So I explained patiently, while bouncing you on my knee, the joy that awaited you, and millions of others, if you went back and lived out your planned destiny. I told you that the reward for going back would be well worth it and beyond imagination. You looked at me with baby blue eyes, asking why. Eyes I fashioned to look similar to mine. I like blue. It's my favorite color, as it is yours. Yes, folks, I love blue. He writes, blue is my favorite color. I'm called true blue. Blue is me. I love blue, always have, and there I found out why. He went on to say, quote, 15 years ago, Earth time, you didn't want any part in that destiny. You kept trying to leave your body, small and frail as it was, for you wanted to be here with me, your daddy, as you called me from the depths of your innocent infant spirit. How I loved it to hear you call me that. I am your daddy. I am everyone's daddy. If only they would realize it. And through your final decision to return and live your life, many millions will. I asked him, rather dumbfounded, so I died as an infant, willingly died just so I could be here with you? He said, yes. Twice you actually succeeded, and you tried many other things, many other times as well, before you managed to stop your own heart by an act of your will. The first time I sent you right back after a brief explanation. The second time I knew you would come back because I was the one who created in you the curiosity and pure stubbornness to get a full explanation of the facts. You have an inquiring mind, one I created for the purpose of your destiny. You will find it very useful in the days ahead, but also, it will also be a hindrance at times. But that's why I gave you a mind like this, to be an overcomer. You know, the exact words, I'm telling you, folks, I heard the exact words. An overcomer. Overcome all. An overcomer, I said, what is that? He smiled broadly and motioned his hand out over the sea, stretching out before us to the horizon. See this field, the sea of glass? In just a few decades, you and millions of others will be here. And yes, your sister and daughters as well. Daughters, I will have daughters. We'll all be here, jumping and leaping for joy. As the climax of creation is made known to all. See, folks, it's all about Him. We do what we do. I do what I do to glorify Him, not me. It's Him. That is the climax of all creation. To be with Him again. There was nothing more joyful ever. Believe me, nothing. I asked him, "So I've been here, and chose to go back once you explained why I had to go back." He said, "Yes, I was very proud of you. You are a fighter. You never give up. Oh, although you do tend to be discouraged easily." "But you also get up again and again. You never quit. That is why I am proud of you. You fail and fall. Yet you try and try again. It's not how many times you fail I take notice of. It's how many times you get up again and keep going. That is character. And character is all important and vital for what comes after your life on earth is complete." I looked at him and said, "Huh?" Rather stupidly, I might add. He just grinned and said, "There is coming a time soon, a few decades from now, Earth time, and all you have learned, and all you will learn, will find its meaning. You think you will sit around being all happy here in this place, doing nothing forever? No. You will have work to do, places to oversee, administration, government, all very busy. And decisions will be needed from people with character. People who have gone through the fires and beat them. And people who are wise, strong, resilient, steadfast. In a single word, overcomers." He went on to say, "Now you know why you never knew me except as an infant. Now you know why, because in all the things you have gone through these last 15 years, you grew character without the crutch of religion. You fought on and on. You overcame your weak, frail body. It grew strong. You overcame the sicknesses that resulted from your premature birth. You overcame the anger and grief of your mother. You overcame the incessant teasing at school, the bullying and the physical beatings just because you were different. You saw through the lies on TV. You never bought into their rubbish, the deceptions. You kept on and on, always asking, looking, reading and searching. For deep down you knew there was more to this life than meets the eye. And deep down was the seed I had planted there when you and I had our little chat. And now here you are today. And I am answering your question in full. For no, that all was not in vain. Life does have a purpose, far greater than you can ever imagine. I stood there taking it all in. It suddenly all made sense. All the trouble I had been in, the hurt, the pain, the despair, the victories again and again. A cycle of defeats followed by victories, and followed again by defeats, and followed again by victories. I was always alone, never a true friend, but I kept going. I knew, even though I actually believed in nothing. that I was wrong somehow in that belief, which after all was not a belief, but an assumption. He stood there letting it all soak in. It all fit together and explained a lot of what had happened in my childhood. The early formative years of the basic character I would need in the next 3 decades. As he was just about to warn me about it, he said, "Come with me up there." I then asked Jesus, "What are those lights?" He said, "They are cities or towns, dwellings and hubs of commerce." Commerce, I thought. Of what use is commerce in this place? He just looked at me and smiled and said, "You will know in time. See, there is our destination," he said, pointing to the end of the highway. I looked way, way ahead. Seemed like thousands of kilometers into the far distance. There was a bright light, like a brilliant sunrise, multi-hued, radiating colors beyond description. And the music. You could feel the music coming from it. It was everywhere. Yet I was not actually conscious of it till I concentrated on it. Harmony, pure harmony, rising from one stanza to the next to reach a crescendo, only to fade out into the next phase, ever building to a climax, but never reaching it. Music without beat, without end, timeless, eternal, pure. Folks, if you have never heard that music, you are in for a treat. That music is absolutely indescribable. Your very cells of your soul, your essence of your creation becomes one with its modulation and movement. It's the one of creation. It is how all are one, how all are united. Everything. I was stunned. Nothing on earth was anything like this music of color blended with sound. But I had a body. I would have exploded. Had I had a body, I would have exploded in sheer joy at just 5 seconds of exposure to this eternal symphony. I was surrounded by it from the moment I arrived, but not until this moment had I actually put my focus on it. I was hooked. Oh, folks, that is so true. I have personally seen and witnessed that as well. I said or thought in stunned amazement, "What is that?" He smiled and said simply, "That is the capital where my Father dwells and where we are now going." So on we went. He was talking to me the whole time, but I was not really paying attention. I was utterly wrapped up with where we were heading, trying to lose myself in the eternal song. I wanted to be the song, to join with it. In fact, you do, folks. Your very cells, your essence of soul is that song. But try as I might, I could not quite grasp the flow of it. It changed from one moment. And just when I thought I had it, and was about to hum along with it, it would blend and change into something new. And no two stanzas ever repeated. Each was unique. Each a masterpiece. Each never to be heard again. As ever, new stanzas were created and blended into the whole. All was building, all was growing, all was new. All was utterly without description. There's a woman that I know, very close friends with, who had an experience as well. We try to describe to each other the music. There's no way to describe it. Once you hear it, you can try and replicate it on a piano or a guitar. But it's so inferior. You just can't do it. He kept speaking to me, telling me events to come in my life, main points and turning points in my life ahead. I was half aware of what he was saying, but he knew I was lost in the song. Lost in the song, ladies and gentlemen, that's why I have as my music. That music is the doctor. Music, the song of creation, is the song and healing part of the soul. Gonna take a break. We'll come back at the top of the hour, finish up this incredible, true story. Again, take it for what it's worth. You have the right to believe or the right not to believe. That's your choice completely. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
What's better than Mountain House freeze-dried food? Buckets of Mountain House freeze-dried food. Now the freeze-dried guy introduces convenient, easy-to-store Mountain House survival buckets filled with our top-selling items. Each item is sealed in a Mylar-type pouch, and each pouch is neatly packed in clear buckets so you can easily see the contents inside. These Mountain House survival buckets come with well over a 25-year shelf life and are perfect for emergency preparedness, camping, backpacking, or at-home use. Go to freezedryguy.com, click on freeze-dried foods, and choose our 12-month, 6-month, 3-month, 1-month, or 7-day Mountain House survival bucket with 32 generous servings starting at just $69.95. And all orders to the lower 48 ship free. Call 866-404-3663 or go to freezedryguy.com. That's 866-404-3663 or go to freezedryguy.com. 100% veteran-owned. The Freeze-Dry Guy.
Hello, I have something I'd like to share with you. LisaKCandles.com is an all-natural soybean candle alternative. Before I found Lisa K Candles, I had lingering soot and allergens in my home. Not today. My Lisa K Candles are clearly a difference to see and breathe. And you know, that's a good peace of mind. LisaKCandles.com is an all-natural soybean candle, handmade from their popular line of fragrances. And guys, these candles make a perfect gift. Order an all-natural soy candle from LisaKCandles.com. I'm glad I did, and I know you will be too. Visit LisaKCandles.com. That's Lisa, the letter K, Candles.com. Or call 731-441-3293. That's 731-441-3293.
Hello, brothers and sisters. We have witnessed the deaths of millions in fake wars. We have seen the erosion of rights and suppression of dissent and protest, and we have failed to stop any of it. This does not mean we are beaten. On the contrary, we are strong, and we can take the fight to our enemy because we are offensive, and we cannot be stopped. Join us as we wage war against our oppressors and the tyrants by insulting them as often as we want. Yes, no matter what else you can or cannot do, you can always call your rulers odious swats. Go on, give it a shot, you'll feel better, and you'll have added to the growing ranks of the offensive. The owners of the earth. The fascist, selfish, greedy, lying, murdering scum, the super rich and their miserable lives of privilege and dominance, the thieving, murdering, decadent puke states. You cannot stop us being offensive. Do you see? You cannot stop us being offensive. Do you see? We can strike at any time. Our arsenal of words will assault you with ever more insults. Rankers and warmongers, be warned. We are offensive. We do not take it back. We do not think we went too far.
Can the answer be, ladies and gentlemen? There's just one answer to the question. Really, there truly is. Christ is all. And there's nothing that anybody can say or do to diminish that fact. That's my message today, this 22nd day of the second month. Okay, let's go on with this, finish up this message. Again, I'm just here today now to bear absolute solemn witness to the truth of this message, for I have seen it myself. And I was shown that I would be doing this very thing. Talk about deja vu. Oh! You know, when things like this happen to you, and you remember them, but yet, you know, there's a veil of forgetfulness over your mind when you come back into this dimension. No matter, you know, how clear it is, you just can't absolutely remember all of it in every vivid detail, but then suddenly you see it. And you know it again. It's exactly what's happened here with me. Reading his account. Absolutely, without a doubt. It's absolutely correct. So this gentleman is interviewing with Christ at the throne at this point. He writes, he kept speaking to me, he being Christ, kept speaking to me, telling me of events to come in my life, main points and turnings in my life ahead. I was only half aware of what he was saying, but he knew I was lost in the song. Oh, that's a great way to describe it. You become one with the song. You don't become lost. It becomes you, and you become part of that song. That's, again, life. And this was why he waited until I was lost in the song to tell me. Because everything he told me about my life ahead was forgotten on my remember dream. Again, that's exactly what I'm talking about. But as each event actually took place in my life, the memory would surface like a vivid deja vu, and it would all be clear, and I would know this event, good or bad, was all part of the plan. We traveled then for what seemed like days or hours or mere minutes. It's hard to tell time in a place that has no time. Oh, my goodness, absolutely. There is no time there. Time, you see, is a measurement of movement, and all things flow in one harmony there. For there is no time, it's timeless. He laid out my entire life before me, from conception to birth to the present, that moment when I was 15 to the very end, which is only a few years away now, going by the events and their sequence. Tomorrow, I turn 44. That's a key number, folks. Gematria 44 equals 8, which is the Savior's other number. 7 is the Savior's other watermark, the testifying number. This guy is number 44. He's 8. I am number 7. I'm the testifier of this message. I had the experience on my 25th birthday, which was not December 28th, it was September 28th, when I was 25. 2 plus 5 equals 7. And today, I'm testifying of this at age 52. 5 plus 2 is 7. He emphasizes this in big, bold letters. That year is pivotal for me and for the world as a whole. See, that 44, he made it in bright red. He emphasized 4-4. I'm telling you, I know it. I was shown that I would be looking for 4-4, looking for the number 8. I posted on my blog the symbolism of number 8. He writes, as to why, well, it's something he said when we reached the capital. I will get to that soon, because I want to describe the capital. His words are, it's awesome, and one heck of a work of master building and insane architecture. I like his, there's no words in the English vocabulary to give a proper adjective to this capital. Awesome in big capital letters, that's a way, I guess, the best way of any. As we drew closer, the music did not get louder, but it was at the same time, it was at the same volume no matter where you were. But the light display, see, light is energy frequencies, folks. Biophotons, as we talked about on this show before. That's life energy at the cellular base. This is the structure of all DNA. It's the structure of all creation. Light. You see, Genesis is right. The firmament is separated out. The water is separated out. Then comes the light. You see. So that the colors would flow with the music. Each wave of scintillating fire, color fire, woven through the sounds as they emanated from the center of this capital. Like an explosion of choreographed fireworks accompanying the music. It's like it, but thousands of times more spectacular and brilliant. The sounds were the colors, and the colors were the source of the sound. Indeed, absolutely correct. The center, where the brilliance emanated from, still seemed hundreds of kilometers away, still set on this impossible horizon that was not a horizon. And at this point, we reached the outskirts of the main capital. And wow, there I saw the first buildings. Modest, really, reasonably simple, compared with what I saw further in. But even these simple structures put to shame anything on earth. Take your basic hovel there, for example, the lowest of the simple buildings. I focused upon one in particular just to burn into my memory with the least of the creative powers of this master builder was capable of. It was about the size of your average house here on earth. It was constructed of pure elements. There were no bricks or mortar, no alloys or mixtures. Each part of that building was simply pure element. For example, the windows, framed with a rich ebony-like substance, shot through with gold veins. Each pane was what looked like pure diamond or crystal. The walls of the house were like a sort of moonstone, opaque yet solid. Light flowed in and through the walls themselves like a fiber optic cable in actual application. The light was taken from all around and magnified throughout the house. The windows would break the light into amazing fantastic hue. Then the walls would absorb and magnify the light and send it streaming outward to the house next to it, and the process would repeat along each house, all sharing this amazing visual display and amplifying it to its peak, only to send it along again to the next dwelling and the next and the next. I was utterly flabbergasted. What a design. And the mind who thought up this amazing idea of optical brilliance must be unfathomable. I looked at the Creator there next to me, amazed at how brilliant He was, that even the simplest of His building designs were thousands of light years beyond the most brilliant minds of earth. Remember, Jesus Christ told His apostles many times, but most memorably in the Scriptures, in my Father's house are many mansions. I go to prepare a place for you. What a wonderful promise that is for those who know Him. I saw Him then with an ever-increasing respect and awe. He just looked at me and smiled again, enjoying the moment. Like you would enjoy the look on your child's face as he sees with awe something his Father had spent time and effort on constructing just for you. The sort of pride of workmanship, if you will, satisfaction is the better word. Satisfaction in a job well done. Yes, well done. Yes, he enjoyed making all of these constructs. He really enjoys creating things and loves to challenge himself in each one's uniqueness from the next, at each one's amazing, simple complexity. He is an artist without compare. And keep this in mind, this was just one of his simple designs. There were far more amazing things ahead as we headed towards the center of the capital. I took my focus then off this one house, this mansion, and noticed with awe again how the, quote, suburbs were designed. No two houses were the same. Each had its own unique design. And yet each and every house, some close to others, some further apart, each one, when we seen from the eras we were, fit into a much grander design and pattern. Have you ever seen a fractal? Really, have you, ladies and gentlemen? I have. The fractal designs are amazing as they continue to grow, the law of fractals. Design and structure without end. They do it because of mathematics. Mathematics are fractals, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it's beautiful to see them working on a computer. That's how it works, folks. That's how it is created. The Mandelbrot set is an example of a fractal, folks, a pattern. The suburbs were woven into an ever-expanding pattern of extreme order. And no two streets or houses were the same. But all fit together into an amazing grand work of art. See, this is again what I talked about yesterday. The Bible is the exact same work of art. The watermark of the Creator is the number 7 all through it. The very colors of the houses, silver, gold, platinum, marble of all hues, ebony, copper, crystal, diamond, amethyst, citrine, even a sort of purple metal that I could not name, all woven together to form an amazing tapestry of design. Some single story, some double, some triple. And these were just the outermost buildings, the simple ones. And the light and the music, the light flowing through each house, from house to house, flowed from the center, the storm of ordered color and sound, flowing throughout the houses in an ever-changing spiral of amazing complexity, lighting up the entire scene in a kaleidoscope of utter amazement. I simply could not grasp it all. I looked at my Creator again with awe, and he just, again, enjoyed the moment. He even pointed out some unique parts of the design. Like the way the river we had been following all this time was woven into the suburbs in vast spirals, interwoven waterways, each house having a small part of this river flowing near or through or under it, feeding the whole. The main river flowed on ahead, surrounded by the most majestic landscaping I have ever seen. Parks, fountains, groves of trees planted in amazing patterns, all according to size and color, all woven around the river, which was the main theme. All flowed from the river, and the river flowed from, well, the throne. There in the distance, rising above all the houses, was a building unlike all the others in size, but it was also easily recognized as a throne. It's hard to explain unless you actually see it. We traveled on and on, following the river towards the center, where all the light and sound had its source. We began to rise up higher. We reached about, I would estimate, about 10 kilometers. He did this just so I could grasp some of the layout. And even then, from that height, the city stretched out seemingly forever. I could not see the edge of it. We were close to the center now, only a few hundred kilometers away. I looked down in awe again, yet again, as I saw some of the overall design. It was indeed a living fractal, a very organic fractal. See, it has to be, ladies and gentlemen. It's mathematics in action. Spirals of ever-increasing complexity, colors of amazing hue and vibrance flowed majestically through each suburb, blending with the whole in an endless dance of incredible design and workmanship. The river, flowing ever straight towards the center. The tributaries woven into and through the suburbs like a blue and silver lattice work, woven into the grand design like threads of a complex embroidery. Then we both rose up to the throne and we sat on it together, looking out over the sea of citrine yellow fire, glowing in awesome majesty, vacant for now. He pointed down to a spot near the front of the throne, slightly to the right of it, and said, "Know this for a fact, in less than 4 decades from now, Earth time, you and your 2 daughters will be standing right there on that very spot. You will be leaping and shouting victory, joy, gladness, your arms around your young ones, who I will bless you with at the right time. And there you will finally understand all that you are to go through in the next 35 years. Behind you, surrounding you, will be many, many people who will only be there because of your words. What you say, and because of the moment you said them. No one will know you. You will not be on a stage or on a movie or in a book. Just your words will spread out and impact many lives. There, standing there where I am pointing, he raised his hand and pointed to the exact spot that I would be standing in 3 decades or so from then. He said, I will acknowledge you to the others. There are 2 others that I know of, folks. Will testify of his words, and that's what I'm doing here today. And there are others upon that, ones who were there because you chose to stay on and fight through. I will let them all know your name, and then you can spend the rest of the 1,000 years meeting them all and sharing your testimony in person and hearing theirs. It will be an amazing time for you. You will be utterly astounded at just who you reached with your words and their effects. Nothing happens for nothing. For your words, born in the fires of agony and trials, will touch many lives and also save many lives. And this is the reason I tell you this now. He suddenly got very serious. His smile of joy at the future memory of this event faded, and the present came rushing back in, and with a tear in his eye and a sadness I could only see the edge of. Folks, he weeps. Oh, he weeps. He continued. In the years ahead, you will try to find me. Here, there. You will look and search. You will try churches, drugs, alcohol, parties, friends, all the time looking for me, trying to find where I can be found on earth. You will forget most of what I have told you today until the day before it all comes to pass and your true destiny begins, which will be in your 44th year. That is tomorrow. I turn 44, and yes, it's only now, the day before. But I remember every word he said to me that day so long ago until today. I could only remember bits and the place itself, not the warnings or the details. He continued, in the years ahead, you will long to die. You will experience such deep despair, such grief, so much pain. But these fires will forge you. Stronger and stronger you will become with each forging. There will be 3 times you will attempt to take your life, which I will prevent. 3 times you will survive and get up and keep going again and again, each step closer to the final product. You will die to yourself. You will die to this world. You will eventually die out to the needs of human love, finding it to be untrustworthy and fickle. And this you will know in the end. Only my love is certain. And only I can be counted upon. And on that day you will walk as a lion, fearless, dead to the world, trusting only in me. And that is the reason I will let you wander. To find out once and for all, as Solomon once did, that all apart from me is
What's better than Mountain House freeze-dried food? Buckets of Mountain House freeze-dried food. Now the freeze-dried guy introduces convenient, easy-to-store Mountain House survival buckets filled with our top-selling items. Each item is sealed in a Mylar-type pouch, and each pouch is neatly packed in clear buckets so you can easily see the contents inside. These Mountain House survival buckets come with well over a 25-year shelf life and are perfect for emergency preparedness, camping, backpacking, or at-home use. Go to freezedryguy.com, click on freeze-dried foods, and choose our 12-month, 6-month, 3-month, 1-month, or 7-day Mountain House survival bucket with 32 generous servings starting at just $69.95. And all orders to the lower 48 ship free. Call 866-404-3663 or go to freezedryguy.com. That's 866-404-3663 or go to freezedryguy.com. 100% veteran-owned. The Freeze Dry Guy.
Hi folks, Ronnie McMullen here for Life Change Tea. I want to share a truth with you. Many people call Life Change Tea to get help with health issues that are severe and life-threatening. They've seen their doctor and they're now motivated to be proactive in their health. Please listen. Once you are sick, it is a hard climb. Life Change Tea can help you, but it's a hard climb. Folks, there's an easier way. Tune your body up before you get sick. A drink a day will help keep the doctor away. Cleansing your colon is so crucial to good health. Seek the Easy Pass and order today. Order now. It's easy. Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. The emergency room is not a place for a friendly get-together. Again, 928-308-0408. Or you can order online at getthetea.com. Once again, getthetea.com.
We interrupt this program for an urgent announcement. The power's gone and the lights are out. We now have an emergency situation. Time to light your emergency candles. Don't have any? Then it's time to order your supply of emergency grab-and-go candles from LisaKCandles.com. The emergency candles outperform even the most extreme conditions. They are soot and toxin-free and have a natural extended shelf life. The time is now, so don't delay. Have emergency candles from Lisa K. Candles ready when you need them, so you remain in the light and out of the dark. Go to LisaKCandles.com. That's Lisa, the letter K, Candles.com. Or call 731-441-3293. That's 731-441-3293. We now return you to your regular scheduled program already in progress.
Serving the planet. The Micro Effect. www.themicroeffect.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the final segment of today's story behind the story. As went into break, my computer screen just flat out went black. Let me tell you, there was without a doubt forces that don't want this message out. No doubt about it. I'm going to tell you the message as best I can, and now, there it is. It just came back up. Isn't that amazing? This is the final segment of the story behind the story today. It's, again, I'm not telling you to say, look at me. I'm telling you to say, look at him. Look to him. You don't have a lot of time left, folks. You don't. Here is the final segment for you to think about. Now, he says this to this gentleman. I've seen him. I'll know him when I see him. I'll never forget him and the other witness. Christ, with a tear in his eye and weeping tears, said this, and on that day you will walk as a lion, fearless, dead to the world, trusting only in me. And that is the reason I will let you wander. That all, apart from me, is vanity. Vanity, folks, foolish pride. It doesn't mean a thing. And there lies real strength and courage and wisdom. And with those three attributes, you see, there's three again. Three is how he testifies. Three, the Godhead. Real strength, number one, courage, number two, and wisdom. With those three attributes forced into you by the fires of your life itself, you will march forth in your 44th year and devastate so many lies, so many half-truths. You will clear a pathway, just with your words, to truth, to life, and many will follow the way. You know, the truth, the life, the way. Those are the words. Not my words, folks. Not his words. Jesus' words. They won't follow you, but not you. Nobody wants to. I don't want a single person to follow me. I want you to follow him. They will follow the truth you have learned so hard. No one will ever know who you are until that day. See, he's not meant to be the witness. That's me. I'm the number 25. I'm the number 7. The day I personally tell it all in front of the vast crowd. Both yours and other warriors who will have done similar to you. That's a key thing. I was told I would be a warrior with him, and there would be others too. But only 3 would bear witness of the words. You will receive your reward then, no sooner. So go now, back to earth, and I will be with you every step. I will guide your every step, and I will not let a single hair on your head be harmed. There will be many attempts on your life by the evil one. I will guard you. See there? Now this is what really, I'm telling you folks, I was told the same thing. Believe me, I should be dead today from attacks by the evil one. But I was shown my warring angels to protect me. I was shown it. That's exactly right, folks. He pointed out across the field, and there, hovering above the field, were 2 angels, big ones, big with a capital B-I-G, stern, strong, 6 feet across at the shoulders, at least 16 feet high, each dressed like a warrior, with a 10-foot-long broadsword and a jeweled scabbard, ready for anything. These 2 have been with you since birth. They are your protectors. In the days of your destiny, you will get to know them personally. But until then, they will remain hidden from you and from all others, but not from the forces of darkness, who will flee left and right at their very look. Thus no harm will ever come to you. You must be kept alive at all costs, even against your own attempts to end your life. You can't even harm yourself, much as you are going to want to. Parenthesis, as it turns out, I did try to kill myself 3 times. And each time it failed. Overdose, nothing. Just woke up a full week later feeling great. Tried to drink myself to death. Nope. I always passed out or vomited it all up. Car accident. Head-on collision at over 130 kilometers per hour into a concrete pole, which left the car a massive burning wreck. Same thing. I was flung from the car as it burst into flames. Not a single hair singed. And not a scratch. That was my last attempt. I gave up trying to kill myself after that. No point. He did look me straight in the eye with his amazing eyes of multi-hued blue fire and said, calling me by name, in the years immediately following this conversation, you will remember only parts of what I have said. Here and there I will allow a brief flash of remembrance. During during the darkest times when you need it the most. But for the most part, your decisions and your mistakes and outright rebellions will be your own. But they too are a part of what you must learn. You will even get very angry at me in several years' time when you fail to find me in any churches or doctrines or dogmas or drugs or books or seminars. You will even curse the very day you were born, and your anger and grief will lead to some dreadful mistakes. But those same mistakes will be the making of you. Your anger and your grief at not finding me will in fact be what allows you to find me in the end. Boy, isn't that exactly right? So he didn't come to those men in high places and high worldly churches. He's not where he's found. He's found in the heart of the person who experiences life through sin and ravages of sin. The refining fire is very real. This is why we should not judge, you see. For the same measure we judge, that's how we will be judged ourselves. A week before you turn 44, the final test will come. Your family will disown you and turn against you. And in that moment, you will make a final decision, which I did, which will enable the memory of all that I have told you to resurface the day before you turn 44. And when you do begin your 44th year, when everything you have ever learned will come into play. At that day, the world will grow very dark. People will be dying and will be losing hope. Be that hope for them. And simply tell them they do have a daddy. That I am here for them. And that nothing in their lives has happened for nothing either. As I hold all events and every life well and truly in the palms of my hand. Now go, and I will see you again here in just under 4 decades, your time from now. Then, bang, just like that, opened my eyes and looked at the clock next to my bed, and I was there for what seemed like hours or days, but only about 5 minutes had passed. And true to his word, I forgot almost everything he said until today, the day before his birthday, folks. Here's his addendum. It says, after I wrote this, more came back to my memory of the event. The last year for me has been very, very, very hard. I won't go into details, but the events of my life just in the last 12 months leading up to today, the last day of my 43rd year, were indeed the final stage. I am dead to this world now. And going by what I can now remember of that event 28 years ago, I can see why. There is a vast and terrifying abyss just ahead. Many millions dying, war, death, complete loss of hope. Our whole way of life, our entire civilization will very soon be in ruin. But this is the message. When darkness falls, that is when lights shine the very brightest. The darkness falls very soon, before the middle of next year. I can't see clearly what it is. I only know it's devastating and permanent, as in it ends Western civilization forever. One other thing I know about what's coming, there will be no warning. No one will predict it. No so-called prophet will warn of it. No one will know until the final few seconds. It's going to be fast and sudden and world-shaking. No warning, not even from the Lord. The only clue I've been given regarding the beginning of the end is it will happen on an ordinary day. A day just like any other. No change, no feeling of impending doom. Just sudden and shocking change. And nothing will ever be the same again. Our epic ends just like that. Snap of fingers. And then following this change, this devastating world-rocking event, comes the harvest. Then before the year 2020, the final end. I was told I would see it, the return. It's right at the end. I was also told I would not see the age of 50 in my current body. I am 44 tomorrow. That is the year I was told my destiny and all these years of hardships, stupid mistakes, lessons learned, and character building will all find the uses. We have, I feel, a few weeks of normal left. When, quote, the change comes. Change you can't believe in, folks. It will catch everyone totally off guard. Everyone is already off guard because of this December 21st misinformation campaign designed by the media to achieve just that. Now they have an entire world populated not caring one bit about any predictions or prophecies or forebodings. Everyone is asleep just as planned. And the flood came on a day they knew not and took them all away. As in the days of Noah, so shall it be again. And so it actually is now. Folks, nobody knows the exact time or date or hour. But the prophecies are not for us to make. The prophecies are already in His holy writ, His book. His incredible watermark of 7 is all through this holy book. It is His message to you. It's my message to you today of this reality that is called heaven. The reality of Jesus the Christ being just who He is, the Creator, as Isaiah the prophet said, the master potter, and we are just His clay. We are just His clay. We're allowed, a few people are allowed to catch a glimpse. This gentleman, I have no doubt in my mind, saw what he saw because I have seen it too. That's my solemn witness to you. Take it or leave it. It's not about me. It's not about him. It's all about Jesus. All of it. The very name Jesus is the number 8. I have personally contacted and been able to see briefly my warring angels. I have 2 of them. I call them warring angels. They're massive. Folks, I'm not perfect. Please don't get the feeling that I am. Boy, I am absolutely a sinner. But I tell you, my life experience has been, since my 25th birthday, has been one of leaving Mormonism, leaving a church, finding truth, and standing for that truth, and understanding, first and foremost, who I am and who my Lord and Savior is. He is all. When you talk about hell, folks, hell is simply not being with Him and knowing what you could have had. Here is the actual fact, folks. On that night in the garden called Gethsemane before His crucifixion on that stake of wood, Christ told His disciples so many, many important things. He said, the God of this world, the prince of the air, this Lucifer, this devil, this Satan, he is already judged. He's already condemned. It is finished. This is before He even went on the cross. You see, the day that He was going to do His final mission of love, folks, He announced that Satan has already been judged. For a little season, maybe it's 2,000 years. In His time, that's a tiny amount of time. Satan is loosed, and he's working incredible havoc. It's all, again, part of the prescribed plan. You can't stop it anymore. You can stop that flow of river. Now, here's the important thing to understand, folks. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, which again is Christ. Christ is God, interdimensional reality, folks. He is the source of the river. He is the source of the light, the source of all knowledge, incarnate. The love is so powerful that He came to this earth, took on flesh, and died the most cruel and inhuman act ever. Born of a virgin, He is and always will be the great I am. What else matters, folks? Everything else is just flat out plain vanity. Everything else is simply an illusion. An illusion to take you away from that fact, from that reality. These words, this thing I've just written to you, this testimony, is on my blog, atruot.com. Please, if you want to review it, please do so. Please understand there are warriors right now that are keeping the forces, the foe at bay until the right timing. This is all important. You see, Christ didn't want the evil one to know completely what he was up to until the time was at hand. He said this at the wedding festival where he turned water into wine. My time is not yet. I don't want to show what miracles I have. And his instructions to Peter on the eve of his crucifixion, where he took out his sword and sliced off the ear of the guard. Don't you think I can make one knot of my head and have a whole legion of warring angels Imagine them, folks. 6 feet across at the shoulders, over 16 feet tall. Extremely powerful. Why do you think the centurions, the guards of his tomb, ran the streets of Jerusalem that resurrection morning? They witnessed this mighty angel popping out the seal, the lead, metal, steel peg, popping it out, moving this many-ton stone uphill with just a little push of the sister. Now you know, folks. Now you have really no excuse. You have this witness. Get right. Get right with him now. This is the message. You have a great weekend. We'll be back Monday. See what Monday brings. See what messages I'm supposed to bring to you Monday. Thanks for listening. You have a great weekend.
What's better than Mountain House freeze-dried food? Buckets of Mountain House freeze-dried food. Now the freeze-dried guy introduces convenient, easy-to-store Mountain House survival buckets filled with our top-selling items. Each item is sealed in a Mylar-type pouch, and each pouch is neatly packed in clear buckets so you can easily see the contents inside. These Mountain House survival buckets come with well over a 25-year shelf life and are perfect for emergency preparedness, camping, backpacking, or at-home use. Go to freezedryguy.com, click on freeze-dried foods, and choose our 12-month, 6-month, 3-month, 1-month, or 7-day Mountain House survival bucket with 32 generous servings starting at just $69.95. And all orders to the lower 48 ship free. Call 866-404-3663 or go to freezedryguy.com. That's 866-404-3663 or go to freezedryguy.com. 100% veteran-owned. The Freeze Dry Guy.
Hi folks, Ronnie McMullen here for Life Change Tea. I want to share a truth with you. Many people call Life Change Tea to get help with health issues that are severe and life-threatening. They've seen their doctor and they're now motivated to be proactive in their health. Please listen. Once you are sick, it is a hard climb. Life Change Tea can help you, but it's a hard climb. Folks, there's an easier way. Tune your body up before you get sick. A drink a day will help keep the doctor away. Cleansing your colon is so crucial to good health. Seek the easy path and order today. Order now. It's easy. Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. The emergency room is not a place for a friendly get-together. Again, 928-308-0408. Or you can order online at getthetea.com. Once again, getthetea.com.
We interrupt this program for an urgent announcement. The power's gone and the lights are out. We now have an emergency situation. Time to light your emergency candles. Don't have any? Then it's time to order your supply of emergency grab-and-go candles from LisaKCandles.com. The emergency candles outperform even the most extreme conditions. They are soot and toxin-free and have a natural extended shelf life. The time is now, so don't delay. Have emergency candles from Lisa K Candles ready when you need them, so you remain in the light and out of the dark. Go to LisaKCandles.com. That's Lisa, the letter K, Candles.com. Or call 731-441-3293. That's 731-441-3293. We now return you to your regular scheduled program already in progress.
Serving the planet, the micro effect. www.themicroeffect.com.
I said, well, I didn't understand. A figure walked in through the mist with a flintlock in his hand. His clothes were torn and dirty as he stood there by my bed. He took off his three-cornered hat, and speaking low to me, he said, "We fought a revolution to secure our liberty. We wrote the Constitution as a shield from tyranny. For future generations, this legacy we gave. In this, the land of the free, and home brave. The freedoms we secured for you, we hoped you'd always keep. But tyrants labored endlessly while your parents were asleep. Your freedom's gone, your courage lost. You're no more than a slave. In this, the land of the free, and home of the brave. You buy permits to travel and permits to own a gun. Permits to start a business or to build a place for one. On land that you believe you own, you pay a yearly rent. Although you have no voice in saying how the money's spent. Your children must attend a school that doesn't educate. And your Christian values